Can't wait to throw a Zin in halfway through the show.
Wish I had a Zen.
And we are live. Welcome to NBA Live Before Lock. It is Tuesday, May 14th. I am Josh Engleman. I'm joined by Eric Lindquist. We are brought to you by Sleeper. And stop me if you've heard this before. We have a 2-game slate that is the same as it was 2 days ago. Yep, we're running it back. Knicks, Pacers, Wolves, Nuggets, game 5 for both. Huge games for both. Will be fun to watch. Hit the like button. Subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell so you know when everything goes live. Follow us both on Twitter. I went to bed last night thinking, all right, SGA's not playing that well. Things are looking good for me.
Man.
I have under 40 something PRA. Should be fine. 1.1 seconds left in the game. Free throw, lose. As long as he didn't get fouled with the final touch, it wins.
So I had a 50 to win 2,500 single game parlay of Garland 25 plus with 3 threes, Karis LeVert 15 plus with a 3, and then both of them rebounds or 6 assists for Garland, 4 for Karis LeVert. I missed by 1 Karis LeVert assist. He finished with 3, somehow, some way finishes with 3. So I missed by that. And then had a full unit on the Boston -8 like I have the whole time. So Karis LeVert comes down and it's a meaningless jumper as the buzzer goes off to lose both of them. Pain, suffering personified. I'm not exactly thrilled today.
Yeah, not fun. Not fun at all. Now we're running this one back.
Yeah.
Knicks and Pacers at 8 p.m. Your Wolves at 10:30, trying to save their season tonight. It's going to be intense. You want to break it down?
It's going to be terrifying. Yeah, it's just, I don't think Mike Conley's playing basketball today, if anybody cares.
Okay.
You should probably care. I'm 90% certain he doesn't play. And I'm 95% certain that Nickeil Alexander-Walker would start in his stead. So 99. I'm pretty positive that I'm going to have more Nickeil Alexander-Walker than anybody on this show or anybody recommending anything anywhere is going to have. So that'll be a fun talking point.
Yeah, that is an action item that we will have and break down. I haven't made a decision on how I want to handle that just yet. A little nervous about it all.
Kind of matters what the Knicks starting lineup is too, right?
Yeah, I mean, you've got Miles McBride sitting there at 4K, potentially moving into the starting lineup, already in half of my stuff. So I would kind of just prefer they hold serve with Precious, and I fade Precious and play McBride anyway. That's my hope. I assume they'll do the opposite just to make things worse for me. Yeah, that's how it's going to happen. I could feel it.
Yep.
What's up, pay-ups?
Yep, let's party.
All right. At the top of everything, we have the reigning, defending, undisputed, most valuable player in basketball, Nikola Jokic, 11,300, 30% owned. Jalen Brunson, $1,800 cheaper, 9,500, 38% owned. Anthony Edwards, 9,200, $300 cheaper than Brunson, 30% owned. And then Tyrese Halliburton, 8,700, just 15% owned. So I ask you, who is your preferred pay-up option for today?
I am jumping back into my stuff here. Nikola Jokic by a lot. I have an infinite amount of him. That's what's going to happen when you have a lock button Nickeil Alexander-Walker. So there's that. I have nearly 58% Miles McBride, Isaiah Hartenstein, DiVincenzo, not exactly expensive relative to some of the other options. I am jamming Jokic today.
I am dead neutral to the field on Jokic. I am way under the field on Jalen Brunson, which I'm okay with.
Yep.
I have 64% of Anthony Edwards, 9,200, 30% owned, guard forward eligibility, very easy to fit in. I have a very small amount of Halliburton. He's actually the guy that I wish that I was getting to a little bit more. I think he's under-owned for this range. I actually think relative to salary and ownership, it's a really interesting conversation between him and Brunson in this spot. but Edwards is my dude. There, whatever the total amount of ownership is for Jokic, Brunson, Edwards, Halliburton, I'm basically matching it. But it's all happening because I'm taking it from Brunson and giving it to Edwards.
Yeah, I have 37% Edwards, so I'm not saying that I'm going to have zero there. I have a lot of Towns as well, a little bit cheaper, obviously, and Jamal Murray. I just have a lot more of this game. It's funny. We're running this game back, or this entire slate back, and it would appear that last slate I was just gung-ho, like everybody else, going Knicks, going Pacers, and living with the result of it. At least they've kept Jalen Brunson 9,500 based on what we've seen. I don't think anybody's jumping and chopping at the bit to go play Precious Achua here today. And some of the value that was value, TJ McConnell is now 5,100. Mike Conley probably doesn't play basketball. Again, I'm pretty confident that he doesn't play basketball today, more so than other people. So I'm willing to look stupid, and I don't really care at this point. I'm happy to just jam Nickeil Alexander-Walker, but there's value that I'm creating with some of those guys. I don't want to go to the value section here yet, but Halliburton, this is a strange one for me at 8,700 because we saw him look a lot better, and then it just ended up being a blowout, but it feels as though some of his ownership is just being penalized for that ridiculous Game 5 script, and it kind of went the way of TJ McConnell. I am more inclined to boost Tyrese Halliburton to get a little bit more. He's got the most positive leverage out of anybody up top here. What were you doing with him again?
So right now I'm a little bit under the field, actually. When I make my final run, I'm going to make sure that I have a little bit more. I just think that he's a really unique piece given his ownership and what's around him today.
Okay. I am probably with you.
I know Ant is going to be the dude that I jam here.
Okay.
But I would like to get in and around the field of Halliburton, get into that 15-20% range, and then figure it out from there.
Fair.
Especially right now, I am not getting to basically any of Pascal Siakam. So I would rather just, if I'm not going to be getting to Siakam, I'd rather then also bump Halliburton.
I am with you. I am with you. Nico Horner scratched for anybody playing baseball. That is, I mean, as if I couldn't have enough Chris Sale already. I'm playing cash purely because I want to go Sale, cease, and let anybody else screw up. But I wanted to throw it out there. Nico Horner scratched if you're playing baseball.
Alrighty. I don't really have too much else to say here for those top four guys. I'm terrified of Brunson. I'm super happy that I'm not getting to him. He's not the person that I would want to roster today. I'm nervous about the Knicks and their health and Brunson's health and Miles and whatever. Could he go out there and just drop 50 fantasy points plus? Yeah, absolutely. I wouldn't be surprised by it at all. But if I had to just choose one of those top four dudes to not have tonight, I'm happy that it's Brunson. I assume I'll rue that information in the middle, in the first half of Knicks Pacers on playback later today.
Yep.
But for now, Brunson is the fade, and I'm cool with it.
Awesome. Yeah, Brunson. It's weird too because pick six and a couple of other spots, they had 42.5 for the old PRA sitting out there. He's 44.5. I am going to double check here to see if anything changed here over the course of the last hour while I was doing the baseball thing, but I am on board with the Jalen Brunson almost complete fade here. I expect it to be kind of Custer's last stand here. I mean, the Knicks, they have been in free fall. They are dinged up. OG Anunoby doing court activity. A little too late, buddy, but 44.5 is still the prevailing number. I think for me, I'm just going to be getting my prop exposure, 42.5 kind of being the prevailing number at some of those other sites. Looking at Sleeper here, our sponsor, see where they're at for it. But from a DFS perspective, 9,500, I mean, he could put up 35, 40 raw points. And if he doesn't bring a lot along for the ride, I just strongly prefer getting to Jokic.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind having a little bit more Jokic. I do have 36%. Just kind of feels like where I'm going to end up being. We do have the pay down options today, whether that's Isaiah Jackson, Christian Brown, Burks, McBride, Nickeil Alexander-Walker. We're certainly going to have enough salary to be able to get to a little bit more Jokic. That's for sure.
Yeah, sure do.
I don't have anything else to say about these top guys, though.
Nope. I think we covered it. We covered it 2 days ago. It's oddly the same. I mean, Jalen Brunson was the one Nick that we weren't getting to amongst everybody else there. The Knicks exposure is going to be pretty darn wild here this time around. Doesn't make me feel good, but I'm just running it back with some of those main dudes.
Does it make you feel good when we get to this part of the show every
No,
day?
it does
When we
not
have,
at any point in time. God.
but all we're trying to do is figure out who will be today's exotic play of the night. Makes me feel good. I don't know about you.
No, my browser's now closed too. I'm gonna have to leave, play back, and come back. My browser is completely stuck. Great.
Well, that's not fun for you.
No. I cannot get my browser to move. It's not going. Google Chrome
I'm
shut
sure.
down for me. I could, but I'm also a dum-dum at the moment.
Yes,
so
that's
thank
true.
You.
At the moment?
Dante DiVincenzo. Cool. Exotic play. Thank you, Jordan. Yes. Great job producing, per usual, Jordan Klein.
Well, he's in with Dante DiVincenzo, and I really can't disagree in any way. That is, or that should be my option since Isaiah Hartenstein doesn't count any longer. And as I work my way down, I have so much more DiVincenzo than I do Nikola Jokic that there can be only one answer to what we have today. We're both locking down Dante DiVincenzo.
Okay.
The dual white of the night.
Oh boy. Must be so proud for him. So proud to be on that segment. Yeah, I can't even close out my browser. It doesn't even come up with like the application not working thing at the bottom. This is really bad.
You should just reboot.
Yeah, I might have to leave and come back here. This is really bad.
Go for it. Reboot.
Okay, bye.
I was kidding, by the way. All right, guys, I'll hold the fort here while Eric is gone until he gets back. Promo code, everybody. I got one for you. It is Edwards. And even though Jordan has the sleeper graphic up, that I zig when I was supposed to zag, it doesn't matter. Promo code is Edwards. 1 month of the NBA Sims Max package for $19.99. It's normally $60, and that covers literally every single thing that we have: projections, ownership, the boom bust tool, the contest generator, the sim tool itself, post contest sim tool, late swap, premium Discord, all of it. You're saving a ton here, 1/3 of the normal weekly price, and you can get in for $19.99. I highly recommend it. It works for all of these main slates that we have on the NBA right now. It also works for Showdown, so no matter what, you're going to be good to go. If you're going to continue to play NBA DFS, there's no reason that you should do it without our Sims package, at least for the next week. So come join us. Click the link in chat or the one in the description. All right, no sign of Eric just yet. So I'm going to talk through some of my preferred GPP plays, but I am, Sean, I'm going to hold off on all the super chats until Eric gets back. But my current most exposed GPP plays, the guys that I'm most over the field on, Anthony Edwards is the top guy. I'm over the field more on Anthony Edwards than I am on anybody else. I don't think anybody needs like a thorough explanation on why I like Anthony Edwards. He takes the most shots for Minnesota. He has great positionality. He's my preferred pay up option. Miles McBride is currently second for me. Now, that could change in 15 minutes. If this drops down to, or if he ends up getting put into the starting lineup, his ownership is going to skyrocket. Everything will change at that point. If he's not in the starting lineup, this will hold true then for me. I'm about 2xing McBride. I also am getting to a bunch of Alec Burks, if that helps anybody. So it's not like I'm picking one or the other. But at 27% ownership, they're really shortening this rotation for the Knicks. I'm going to take my chances on McBride. Hartenstein is my third most guy over the field. Same thing that I did Sunday. I got to hope that the Knicks don't get beat by 40. I just think that he looks like the best center because he has such a massive ceiling for minutes, especially in a matchup against the Pacers. And then number 5 for me, Jaden McDaniels, 4,300. Should be playing around 36 minutes tonight. He's 25% owned. He fills the small forward spot, provides a little bit of value. He is in half of my stuff. Do we have him back yet? Sure don't. Sure don't. All right, chat, let me know. You guys have any favorite GPP options today? Who are the sort of lower owned dudes that you're soaring over the field on for today. Andrew Hudson, happy you're here. Most of those players suck. You just roster all the good ones, man. I assume you get an extra 30,000 in salary. Yeah. Rudy and Hart, perfect. Fading Rudy makes me feel a lot better. I wish I were fading Hart. Einsteinium wants Kyle Anderson. Hard to talk about right now. Man, I think I just read every single name possible in chat. Kyle Anderson, McBride, Siakam, MPJ, Poppin, Christian Braun, Reggie Jackson, Isaiah Jackson, Aaron Gordon. Every one of these names are getting mentioned in chat. It's not even worth asking. We're recommending the whole slate across the board. Well, we are not going to know the Mike Conley news prior to lock. So there's not much that I think that we can do. Eric might be a little bit more confident that Conley doesn't play. I don't have a great feel for it. I'm leaving him in until I hear differently. Calvin Sanders says Monty Morris. Calvin Sanders wins the award for guy most likely to lose his money tonight if he plays Monty Morris. I don't think that's an award you were looking for, though. Got to be honest. But that is the award you will win if you play Monty Morris today. Let's see. Look who's back.
Hello.
It's a good idea. Turn that camera off.
Buddy, it was just switching over to the camera there. Yeah, I don't know why I have to just use a different browser. It is not going to work for me whatsoever. So I got to just kind of switch out everything. And here we go. I'm all set. Where were we? Just favorite GPP plays?
Yes, I just went through mine. Hit everybody with your favorite plays. I asked chat what their favorite GPP plays were, and they listed everybody.
Cool. Nickeil Alexander-Walker, I have 100% of. I think there is no way that a veteran in Mike Conley gets added to an injury report before a game 5, unless he is missing the basketball game. There was a report earlier that Nickeil Alexander-Walker was wearing the starter's bib. I don't know if anybody caught that from all the Minnesota sources that exist over on the old Twitters. Now, those aren't always the most reliable, but there are other ways of finding information. And as such, sounds as though to me, like Mike Conley is very, 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 very distraught about the fact that he's probably going to miss this one. But based on how the pick and roll and how everything went in that game 4, I think Mike Conley being off the floor and just getting to a super long, super defensively forward lineup isn't the worst thing that ever happened to us here. Mike Conley played better than most, I think, in that game 4. But still, I am very confident that he does not play basketball tonight. So take that for what you will. I'm not saying what you should do. I'm not saying how you have to go about building your lineups. I'm just telling you what I'm doing and what I've heard from people. 90% certain that he sits, 99% certain in the event that he sits, that Nickeil Alexander-Walker is your starter.
I don't know what to make of this. I don't know how I feel.
He's the best piece of value on the slate. He's going to start, and then I'm just going to jam Jokic along with it for the ride. Him and Ant. So there we are.
He definitely would get a minutes bump. I don't completely trust that he would start, but I assume he would start. I'm fascinated by the line and how it hasn't really moved.
Nope.
Denver opened at minus 200. At 2 o'clock in the morning, it was minus 190. At 6 o'clock in the morning, it was minus 180. We got the Conley news around lunchtime, right?
Yeah, for you. I was out and about. Yep. Walking the doggy and recording. Yeah, it was early in the morning.
The line then went to minus 162 for the Nuggets. A reminder, 6 a.m. minus 185. 12:45 minus 162. It then climbed back up to the minus 175, minus 180 range, which are sort of where it's been sitting. I assumed that Mike Conley would have a slightly bigger impact. I guess he doesn't. Or he's playing.
Or he's not. Offensively, he's been a big plus for us. 89th percentile plus minus. 88th percentile estimated win share, or estimated wins and plus minus for EPM. Like, just he's a good basketball player. There's no doubt about it. Over these playoffs, though, I mean, we've seen an ascent of Nickeil Alexander-Walker. And even if you go through some of his numbers earlier in the season, 98th percentile, +3 on the defensive end. Offensively, yeah, there are definitely warts and issues, but I'm playing a lot of Monty Morris as well. That's somebody else that I'm taking quite a few shots on. I think off the bench, you got to just kind of see him and Kyle Anderson potentially be people who step into these kind of roles. So I am of the mind that we are 100% going to see well, 99%. I want to go back to that. 99% sure that Nickeil Alexander-Walker starts, and with shooting guard small forward at 4K, if you get him starting, it is very hard to deny that that is a phenomenal piece. Now, it's a little bit different. Obviously, they had the Kyle Anderson starting when it was Rudy Gobert. I think Kyle Anderson at 3,400 is still somebody I want to get to, but I am building out all of this extra value that people aren't going to have before the Indy New York game. And let's just say that I'm 75-25 in this kind of an event. If you change the projections ahead of time here and you run it through the sims like I did, you get some pretty incredible stuff that nobody's going to be able to have full access to. And it's just a 2-game playoff slate with a lot of dead money where there aren't as many people swapping as should be. We saw that a number of different times throughout these playoffs. Whether it's, Donovan Mitchell still being 2% owned in the main contest or things of that nature. Like, I don't think that happened as much during the regular season. So if you can just kind of take away the fact that I'm as confident as I am, and you just say, all right, let's just say that he's a true 50-50 or 75-25. If you want to say that he's more confident to play in, just building towards that narrative has such value today with where this Indy pricing is and where I assume the Burks ownership ends up. We saw the complete nuke of Alec Burks beyond all things projection based. And I think we see it again today. So for me, I am willing to embrace that volatility every single time on a slate like this.
I really don't know what I'm going to do. I did give Nickeil Alexander-Walker an extra minute and took one away from Conley, and I'm hoping that just sort of covers me for everything that I want to do here. There's no situation where I'm going to be getting to Kyle Anderson now. If that has to change later, I have a decent chunk of Christian Brown at 3,400. I have a pretty decent chunk of Jaden McDaniel, so I should be able to move things around in the later games. But I'm going to be leaving Mike Conley in up until lock. I don't trust it. I'm a little nervous.
Oh, join playback. Sorry. There we are. Buddy, I'm a little focused here. I'm sorry. It was beyond my sorry. You're connected on another tab. It's saying I'm already in it. All right. Now I'm here. Fun.
Did you have any other GPP plays that you have your eye on? Maybe something outside of the scope of Nickeil Alexander-Walker?
Yeah, something outside of the scope for sure. Jokic, I'm way over on. The ownership's come up throughout this show even. So Jokic sitting at a pretty nice spot in my lineups in 64% of them. Dante DiVincenzo, that doesn't really bear any comment, really. He's really, really popular as is. Aaron Gordon is interesting. I think I'm getting to him just as like that mid-range thing that kind of covers some of my bases. He's one piece that I'm comfortable. Obviously, he played so outrageously well in game 4 that it's hard to even really, believe what we were watching there. But with him, Gobert at 6,300, I think just getting to a couple of them in the mid-range in the event that I am wrong. Again, there are ways that I can still turn all of that into other things. And I think just getting to Aaron Gordon, another piece in that mid-range that I can boost, power forward eligibility, can help me get to more cat, but I'm already getting to cat, so is the field. I'm not terribly concerned about that. I think for me, all my GPP plays are covered by the fact that I have a very different opinion, I think, than what most people do. Yeah, I'm just building my lineups towards a very obvious, or towards what I think is not obvious, but saying that, like, if Mike Conley is out, obviously I would have more access to more access to a little bit of Nas, I suppose, although he doesn't see any kind of a real jump for me there. It's just one less body of Mike Conley where, they'll maybe go to some different lineups. And then Monty Morris. I mean, this is somebody that I think is like 0% owned here at the moment, and I have pre-built in 20-something%. It's not that hard to turn him into some Justin Holiday at 3,200 if I absolutely need to. Christian Brown is at 3,400, pulling quite a bit of ownership and has positive leverage. So I have some outs, some opportunities to get away from this quote unquote take that I have.
All right. We have a ton of super chats to get
Yep.
to. Are you ready?
Yep. Oh, my goodness. Clicked into it. Thank you.
You
The
good?
browser hates me. Yeah, no, just my browser hates me today. It's fine. And my wife's in New York for 2 weeks. And so I'm just here by myself, manning down the fort and trying to not have technology fail around me. Here we go. All right. I'm in. There we are.
Sean Jeezy hit us earlier with the Eric. I'm with you on Conley being out. I have 80+% of Nickeil Alexander-Walker. If he's actually out, though, thoughts on Slow-Mo, Monty Morris, McLaughlin? Any viable in 150 max?
Yep. All of them to a certain extent. I think Monty Morris probably doesn't see as much of a jump. Like Kyle Anderson played point guard back at UCLA in the long time ago. He had played some point guard in Memphis and then with Minnesota. I mean, Kyle Anderson can handle the basketball, but that primarily is going to be Anthony Edwards, I would think. It's just a question of like how much size, length do they want out on the floor. I think that's kind of the main reason that they go and start No. I don't think he's going to necessarily be playing any point anytime soon, but it's an opportunity for them to go to some Monty Morris minutes where, obviously he has the Denver familiarity. We haven't really seen him get ramped up here at any point in time yet. I think you need to be looking at Kyle Anderson, probably second, Monty Morris third. And again, Monty Morris is just completely unknown to the point where I like getting to those. Was there a fourth person that they threw out there?
Jordan McLaughlin.
No, I will not be playing Jordan McLaughlin.
I agree. All righty. Next up, Ace of Spades, DK Tiers. Should have known.
Yep, ready. If Jokic is there, just move on.
Will do. I'm pulling it up now because I didn't have it ready, obviously.
Sorry, my computer doesn't even care about anything right now. Here we go.
Brunson, Halliburton, Edwards, Murray.
So you didn't say that. I'm going to have to go Brunson then if it's not Jokic up there.
Yep, I agree.
Yeah, that's wild.
Siakam, Turner, Hart, DiVincenzo.
Hart.
I agree. Towns, Gobert, Porter Jr., Aaron Gordon, Isaiah Hartenstein.
Towns.
Yes. Conley, Reed, McConnell, Neesmith, Caldwell Pope, and Nemhard.
See, this is fun because if Conley doesn't play, he would be or if Conley does play, he's the answer. But if he doesn't, you probably want to have TJ McConnell already played. So there's that.
Yeah. Yeah, the other two best plays are McConnell and Neesmith, which makes it a little bit harder. But it's Conley until it's not Conley, that's for sure. Precious Achua, Obi Toppin, Jaden McDaniels, Kyle Anderson, Nickeil Alexander-Walker, Alec Burks, Miles McBride.
Jaden McDaniels.
I figured you would have went Nickeil Alexander-Walker there.
I put Jaden McDaniels at 23. I have Nickeil Alexander-Walker at 22.
That's fair. That is Precious Achua for me. Barf. And then Jalen Smith, Reggie Jackson, Christian Brown, Isaiah Jackson, Peyton Watson, Ben Shepard, Justin Holiday, Jericho Sims.
Christian Brown.
I agree. Let's get to the next one now. Hit that like button if you haven't yet, people. 1,900 people in here, 145 likes. We should be up over 200 by now. Darren Unger, favorite FanDuel plays. Let's go to the boom bust tool and read off the top plays.
I didn't build anything beforehand. Isaiah Arnstein has power forward eligibility.
Yeah.
That's useful. Hi. Dante DiVincenzo, he's also at the top of said tool. But Jaden McDaniels, and then obviously me getting to the Minnesota stuff, that is a fun way to differentiate. Although, Nickeil Alexander-Walker is already pulling 39%. Oh, there you go. McBride starting.
That sucks. I didn't want to change it.
Yeah, we're going to play a lot of them. Now Jokic is going to be in everything that I do, so that's enjoyable. Bummer.
All right. Well, The top plays and optimal rate from the Boom Bust tool were Hartenstein, DiVincenzo, Anthony Edwards, Jaden McDaniels, and Jamal Murray. And Malcolm says, okay, the players with high pull percentage are the pick.
I don't know what that means.
Is this like a racing question? Because this is an NBA show. I don't know what any of that means. All right, let's talk through the Knicks. Pacers, Halliburton, Nembhard, Nesmith, Siakam, and Turner. Makes sense.
Yep.
Okay. How many minutes do we think Miles McBride plays now?
A lot. Many minutes. It had been very, very bad for Precious Achiuwa out there. I had McBride in for 29, and I'm going to put him in for... Shit. Am I going to really go like 34, 35? Think so. Precious, you got to rip down from like 23 and a half, 24 to like 12.
Do you assume that Jericho Sims doesn't play now?
No, I think Jericho Sims is live to play. I think there's definitely a world where they just make him the backup 5. What this really does for me is I'm probably going to ramp up Hartenstein's minutes even further too, which is awful because, you know, obviously the Jokic piece where center, and then you got center. Obviously, FanDuel people just, I mean, power forward eligibility for Isaiah Hartenstein. Has it looked good the last couple? No, but this is very, very different. It was just Precious just wasn't doing anything for them out there. And now, I mean, this is really good for Hartenstein. This is really good. I'm not going to play Jericho Sims, but I'm going to put him in for a couple of minutes now. I had him at 0.
This will largely remove a Precious for me, but I'm not confident. I'm not confident in giving McBride a ton of minutes.
What's a ton of minutes?
More than 30?
Oh, see, I mean, what'd you have him in before? What'd you have him off the bench getting?
26.
Okay, I had him for more, and I was getting to tons of him and more than what you were. And I mean, it doesn't even do us any good to look at like McBride starting over the course of the season because like we saw him play 46 minutes a night for however long that was in March and April and whatever else. They have everybody out. I guess what does this do also for Burks? Because if there's a non-zero chance Precious Achiuwa is like not in the rotation today.
That would surprise me.
It would surprise me too, but I'm saying non-zero.
I mean, I don't think there's any situation where he's not the backup center.
I think Jericho Sims just plays backup center, and
if they could do that, they'd be doing it already. I don't think that's
they haven't been able to do anything though. Is the point? You lose by 40 and you get completely drummed back-to-back games. You don't really have any options. It's like, let's just sell out in the name of offense and try to up variance and knock down threes. And again, I don't think 6'4" Josh Hart should be playing the 4. I don't think Alec Burks is capable of doing, you know, anything defensively of note to, you know, want to have Tibbs inspire any greatness. But like, they almost don't have a choice other than, like, is there a non-zero chance also that they just play Jericho Sims alongside? Like, I doubt it, but I think the most likely outcome is Precious goes from like 24 minutes we had him projected for to like 14. Just toying with these.
I'm playing around with some minutes just to figure out like where I land. If I go to 30 on McBride, it makes him my number 4 play on the day.
He's that good of value, though, I think.
Yeah.
Yep, it's a problem.
If I go to 31,
I mean, I'm kind fourth. I've obviously made lineups with a thought in mind that, I'm right about this Conley situation, and it is what it is. But obviously McBride is like unavoidable to some extent, but
Yeah.
I definitely want to trim the minutes from 30. Like I had him at 29. I'm going to probably keep it somewhat close just so that I don't have him pushing to the top, 100% lock button. There's volatility
I think
there.
he is now.
Sucks
Not
so
not
bad.
100% lock button, but like it's pretty close.
It sucks for me because now it's like, now I hope Conley plays if I'm going to do that. But
Well, no, now you just have you can just corner the market on the two 4K dudes.
yeah, and 100% Jokic and Edwards. Here we go.
It's not the worst path in the world.
No, it's not the worst. And again, I am very confident, obviously. I
Okay, so we went to we didn't update that. So never mind. We did update projections, but it wasn't that. Okay, now they're updated. So I think we went 34.
Okay.
Oops. I pasted that into the wrong spot.
I'm gonna jump in some single entry stuff here.
Late jam, there you go.
40 hundo, just jump in everything. I mean, these are sharp fields. It's not like they're not gonna play McBride, but I'm just building it towards the narrative. And I think the best way for me to get paid off is to just play that all in one lineup and have my whole night hinge on that, or what will end up being Justin Holiday and Christian Brown in the apocalypse. So that'll be fun.
Okay. Right now I have 32 minutes for McBride. He's my number 2 play overall in terms of just like raw rank. Gonna be real hard to get away, especially being point guard, shooting guard looks real difficult to get away from at this point. Precious is now dead. He's gonna go from 30% owned to 0 basically.
Here's the thing. I think there's still a good chance he'll be double digit owned. I think he'll still be 10% owned.
I would be surprised if it's higher than 5.
Okay. Well,
it's a lot of time.
We'll find out. I mean, obviously we are both cheering for the same thing. So it's not like I'm cheering against you. I'll go 8. I'll set the line at 8.
I'll take the under.
Just smash today. I will lose my mind.
I'm trying to see if FanDuel has unlocked any Miles McBride props yet. No would be the answer to that question.
Looked pretty good at my 9.5 points that I got last night. That's fun. That was the lock.
I assume he's going to be like 55, 60% owned.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
You definitely don't have to lock McBride. He is not the same thing as what Karis LeVert was yesterday. Not even
He's
close.
definitely not that. Definitely not that.
But he is now the downside. Best pay down option.
Yeah. During the regular season, we saw, let me just grab all the stuff here again. It was, again, very, 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 very different circumstances, which makes me not want to go crazy with it. But career high in usage, still only 16.5%. You will be sharing a floor with DiVincenzo and Brunson. Josh Hart, who's been more offensively forward here of late. So Miles McBride, we'll see if I end up getting 100. I don't know if I do.
Yeah, I don't have a great feel. It's going to depend on ownership. Miles McBride points prop is hung at FanDuel 11.5 to the over. 11.5 with juice to the over is where it stands right now. At 32 minutes, I have him at 11.4. Basically spot on.
Okay.
So I feel a lot better about that.
For everybody playing pick 6, he's 9.5. You should have him in your lineup.
If Brandon Wagner, if Conley sits and Nickeil Alexander-Walker doesn't start, how much will you still play? Sometimes somewhere between what you have and 0.
What a great breakdown. Welcome to the NBA Live Before Lock.
Well, I mean, like we're talking about a hypothetical late swap situation where you have no idea what that's going to be.
I was gonna say I can bullshit you and say I'll still have a little, but like I'll be forced to have a little no matter what. Like I can't give you an exact number that'd be asinine and irresponsible.
The juice is gone on McBride. It's now 11 and a half, and it has come down a little bit. So I feel absolutely perfect at 32 minutes for McBride at this point.
Okay.
Alec Burks
Still
is
gonna
still
get
sitting
him.
at 9.5, so that helps. Have we gotten an update in ownership yet? Nope.
Other thing
Still
to
waiting on it.
jam. Precious Achua is, what is his pick six? 13.5 PRA. Give me less 4 days.
Let's see. Braden Roth. So no Precious? No, no Precious.
0.
I just need to update an ownership here, and then we could run our stuff and get an idea.
Yeah.
So we might as well just go to the nuke of the night. Who is
There we
the
go.
play for today that blows your ding dong clean off your body?
One way of looking at it.
The only way to look at it.
Yeah.
16 and a half minutes to lock, folks. Could be a tumultuous two-gamer here.
Mm-hmm.
Like the alliteration, too.
Well done by you. Lindy, as a guy who has a show called fucking Lindy's Leans, Likes, and Locks, I will say, alliteration, my thing. Nikhil Alexander Walker, friends. 4K. I assume he starts. I'm pre-building him into lineups. He's got shooting guard, small forward. I just think you play an eternal amount of him, but don't sleep on the likes of Jaden McDaniels. Don't sleep on the likes of a little bit of Kyle Anderson, Monty Morris. But there's just no doubt that I think the primary beneficiary of a Mike Conley sitting Nikhil Alexander Walker. He's think we fire him up, nuke of the night.
Miles McBride, first run of ownership is 68% owned, highest owned guy. It is now McBride, DiVincenzo, Hartenstein, 1, 2, 3.
Makes complete sense to me.
Does indeed. It does indeed. Oh, that's a little funky. All right, now that we have that update, I'm going to start running this, and I'm hoping that I can get 2 of these run, just in case we get another ownership change and it's stark. Oh man, who are you fading? Do you have any concept of who that's going to be yet?
Nope, I don't.
Fair.
I
get
want
it.
to tell you, I can't. Before I can give you the before news. The before news.
Give me the before of the situations where you like think it's probably going to stay.
Yeah, 0% Michael Porter Jr. I don't think it's. I mean, I'm basically begging him to not go completely berserk, knocking down shots. He played 35 minutes, was uninvolved, and they ended up going to the Christian Braun situation there, who played pretty darn well.
What can Brown do for you?
Yeah, well, Brown can knock down a 3 as an absolute dagger against us from that Aaron Gordon pass from the corner and bury my soul as a Minnesota Timberwolves fan. But it would appear that when we saw this, 2 years ago? We didn't really see it a lot last year because, well, he was good. He had Bruce Brown to play some defense there. And it was just a different configuration of a team to a certain extent. Obviously, the same core. Michael Porter Jr. 2 years ago couldn't stay on the floor because of defensive inefficiencies and mistakes and dumb things. There was that Rudy Gobert lob. I don't know if anybody saw it, but Mike Malone just went ballistic on MPJ, saying some very, very naughty things in MPJ's face after Gobert just basically got uninhibited. He had to come over and help. And they ended up just going to Christian Braun and saying, go ahead and sit. I get a little bit worried. And obviously, it's Michael Porter Jr. at 6,500. It's not like, I mean, this is somebody who can still go and get you a bucket. In game 3 on the road there, 21 points, 4 boards and such. But at 6,500, I know the ownership's come down on him. There's a number of times I've been surprised by Michael Porter Jr.'s ownership throughout this postseason as is, considering Jamal Murray is playing more minutes, considering, Jokic is Jokic. But Michael Porter Jr., I will probably have none of no matter what.
Interesting. Okay. I didn't have much earlier, so we might be in the exact same boat.
I'm just trying to come up with like a hypothetical as I'm running everything.
Yeah.
Pretty sure.
My biggest fades that I had prior to all of this news for McBride were Jalen Brunson, which I don't expect it to change. Pascal Siakam, I don't expect to change. Andrew Nemhard, which I don't expect to change. Naz Reid, which I don't really expect to change. So for the most part, I don't think my fades are going to be any different based on the McBride news. We shall see. My first run is done. I'm diving into round 2 now.
I didn't get one done. I am using Safari. What a time to be alive.
I like Safari.
You do? It's not my favorite. A little bit. It's like
feels like it works when I'm on a Mac. Mac or PC?
Mac.
Okay. Yeah, I don't mind it when I use it on a Mac.
Maybe that's what they're doing. Maybe they're forcing me away from Chrome and Firefox because Firefox wasn't even working for me.
I really do hate Chrome, even though it is everything that I use every single day.
It's a pretty tilting look of it, but it's easy. Like I do like the way the bookmarks are set up for it. I like, I do like the idea of the extensions where, everything just shows up directly on the page for me. If you build them out or have some of those preloaded ones, we know where they're at, but
we do.
Yeah. It's good stuff.
What else can we touch on right now while we kind of just spin our wheels until we get our stuff done? What are we missing? Oh, you know what? Let's talk about Sleeper since I haven't done it yet. Sleeper is the sponsor. You see it on the banner at the top of the screen and on the TV behind Eric's head. You can get up to $500 on your first deposit because that's a hell of a deal. And that's what you get by clicking the link in chat or the one in the description of this video. They've got dynamic payouts on their plays, so you can get a multiplier on either side. You could stack up a couple positive multipliers and get up to 100x payouts. That is a massive, massive payout if you're chasing those sorts of lottery ticket cards. Odds Shopper can help you out as well. If you're looking for additional plays, we have a market-based approach to beating those books. You can use the Sleeper Optimizer to just build out the card for you if that's what you're looking for. All I need you guys to do is sign up using the link in the description. So, guys, click that link and shout out to Sleeper. I got my second run done.
How good are you at life?
I don't know. I assume that it's also going to freeze my computer when I go to refresh it. So it's going to be one of those situations.
Yeah, I've been there.
What do you know about the computer freezing?
Just
other than it happened
such a tilting day
minutes ago.
Yep, such a freaking tilting day. My goodness gracious. I am just trying to get this all situated. I had it all situated already. I should have just kept it, but here we are. I'm all set now. Pulling it up, first time looking at it. It is 100% Miles McBride. I don't like it.
Hundy spot on McBride, eh?
Yeah, I want less.
I have 100 as well.
Okay.
I don't really see a way around it. I tried to be pessimistic with his minutes. When I immediately got hit in the face with basically the exact mark. 11.5 is now juiced once again to -128 to the over. So, but either way, I feel good about where we landed there.
Yep. It's impossible to get away from. I have so much of him. I have so much Jokic.
I have so little TJ McConnell.
TJ McConnell, congratulations. I have 23% of him. How much is he owned right now? Our last run, 33%. So yeah. This is more TJ McConnell than I've had in recent slates of things, which I guess is fortunate that I won't be completely dead immediately. That's chill to me.
It is. I don't know what to do with him because the price is coming up and he's point guard only. It doesn't appear that he has any path to minutes north of 22 at this point.
No.
You just need him to play like a 65th percentile outcome.
Yeah.
You don't get it from playing time. The price is going up because of performance. I'm terrified of him because I'm barely getting him. Surprise, surprise. But even if I give him a pretty sizable bump, the dude doesn't show up.
Yeah, it's just, I think you just kind of hold your nose.
How much of your boy did you end up with? Nickeil Alexander-Walker?
92%.
Okay. Yeah, I have 26% right now. So a little bit over the field.
yeah, I've done things differently. But let's see. Sometimes I will say this to Chad here, because with like 8 minutes, I always get nervous about saying stuff like that when I'm that confident about something, or when it just, it's obviously my team too, where I've seen kind of the tea leaves of when things happen a certain way and I react to it. And you kind of notice it more when it is your team than you do with other teams. But I always get nervous about saying stuff like that on a show, because like, obviously we're not looking towards like, oh, let's have a super strong stance and I'm going to tell you how I feel about this and I'm going to be right and I'm going to be the savior and all this shit. It's like, no, I'm just building my lineups the way that I am, and I'm hoping that the news breaks my way. I find it pretty likely that it will. But how much Jalen Brunson did you get to?
6%.
We are just so going to get burned by TJ McConnell and Jalen Brunson. I have 0.
I don't
had
care if
0
Brunson
last
burns
night
me.
too. Yeah, I mean, good for him if he does. I'm also on his over 42 and
I
a
have
half.
6% of TJ as well. I don't know what to do to change that. I really, truly don't.
You can't.
Malcolm wants to know DK overweight players. I mean, Jokic is thinned down a bit over the years, so I wouldn't say him. I mean, I wouldn't say that anybody is really overweight.
Nope.
But if you're talking about guys that we are playing more than the field, for me, it's Anthony Edwards, Miles McBride, Jaden McDaniels, Isaiah Hartenstein are my 4 main stands.
Mm-hmm. Mine are Miles McBride, Nickeil Alexander-Walker, Nikola Jokic, Dante DiVincenzo, and Isaiah Hartenstein. So a lot of chalk, and then one very not chalk.
Ooh, how did I manage to delete that calculation from my sheet?
That's not
that
good.
might actually change something here.
Oh, Ryan Jeffers on another planet. This guy is the GOAT.
Who?
Ryan Jeffers. He's a catcher. Yeah, you'll learn when baseball starts up for you. Have you been playing any baseball? Yeah, you did. You almost won the afternoon slate, or the morning slate, whatever that was, like a week or two ago.
That was a lot longer than I haven't been playing for like the past. Yeah, that was basically like the first 2 weeks of the season.
You could have just taken the compliment and moved on, but yeah, there you go.
Well, I mean, it wouldn't have been correct. It wouldn't have been correct.
I kid. I appreciate it. Edwards.
All right, that's just gonna have to be.
I don't like how much OB Toppin I have.
I think I might have just changed my exposures, and I don't know how they're going to change right now. So let me go ahead and refresh that table. Okay. Reminder, guys, we're going to be on playback in 5 minutes. So don't be afraid to come join us.
Upload my lineup, huh? That seems like a good idea, Eric.
Yes, uploading your lineups right now would be a very smart thing for people to do. All right, I'm going to make my final tweaks right now. Whatever I have in here looks like it should be pretty good. I am going to try to bump TJ McConnell. Even with a 15% bump, I don't get to anything more than 4%.
I who free fall for me was Alec Burks after the McBride starting spot. I don't like that. I feel like I should still have a little, but again, my lineups are just different. I just built things out differently. Pascal Siakam, congratulations on your nuke as well. I'm underneath, way underneath the field on him.
I can relate to that one for sure. I have 10% now, which is more than I had earlier. I'm down to 98% Miles McBride now, so everything is different.
Good.
I still have a decent amount of Alec Burks. I still have a decent amount of Christian Brown. I actually have a little bit of Isaiah Jackson, which seems fine to me. I can't get to TJ McConnell no matter what I try to do.
I get it. It is what it is. Throw this in here.
I'm trying to bump Halliburton. I have 20% of Halliburton now too, but he's projected for 20% ownership. Still the stand on Anthony Edwards. I have about 50% of Jokic now. Those are going to be my lineups.
Yep.
3 minutes to go.
Uploading these. This is going to be what it is. I have no idea what anything is anymore, but that is okay. That usually goes well for me.
I'm excited for this slate in a way. I'm excited for the late game. I wish it were somehow the early game because that's the one that I would prefer to watch. I don't
Supposed to
care
be in
about the.
bed.
I'll probably see tip off and not much after that.
Uh,
Who wins
all
today?
right. I ended up getting a little bit more TJ McConnell, which is good. I hope Minnesota, obviously, but I would, if you're just making me pick straight up here, obviously it's hard to pick against Indy, and it's hard to pick against Denver.
Yeah, for me, I think it's got to be Indy Denver. Not that I feel very comfortable in that, but yeah, Indy Denver.
Alrighty.
It's who I want to win at least.
That's I want Minnesota so bad it hurts, but it's not gonna. I don't know.
All right. I have 5 guys over 50%. McBride, DiVincenzo, Hartenstein, Edwards, and Jaden McDaniels. I feel a little nervous about that Jaden McDaniels one. Feels like a tad too much.
Yeah, I don't mind it, to be honest. I really, really don't.
He just so rarely participates offensively.
There is that.
And that frustrates me sometimes.
Just completely dependent upon how much do I have.
All right, I took him down one additional lineup, and now I'm going to try to paste those in this final 90-second stretch.
All I'm doing is just
and now I got to hope that
window.
Conley plays too.
I hate that I don't have Hartenstein in this lineup. He's not going to be in my single entry. Great.
Interesting.
Great.
All right, guys, how are you feeling about it all?
Awful. Woo!
There it is. The old Miles McBride lock button play. Nothing bad can happen from that at all. We haven't projected for 68% ownership. I think that's what I saw in our last run. Hopefully it comes in lower. I hope people are asleep at the wheel. It's going to be interesting to see what the Precious Achua ownership is shortly too. So we'll be checking that out on Playback, which is where we're going right now. Go to playback.tv/stochastic. We will be there for the next hour. We'll watch the first half of Knicks and Pacers. So come join us. Sign up for Sleeper before the games start. Maybe you can get some of those lines in too if you want to do it. Hit the like button on your way out the door. Subscribe to the channel, YouTube notification bell, all of that good stuff. We are going to get out of here. We'll see you on Playback right now.